So imagine that you're driving down the road, and assuming you're not a police officer, you see a scene like this. What do you do?
I got you. Yeah, I will defend my brothers. I will defend the weak. I will pursue and fight evil so others may sleep. I am the sheepdog, protecting the night. Wolf hunters unite. Bring it on. It's time to fight.
I get a lot of questions from folks asking if I see an officer in trouble, what is the right way? When is the right time to step in and help? What if I have a concealed pistol? Is it still okay to help? When should I use it? Things like that. So I want to be able to address the topic, hopefully in an engaging and entertaining way, as usual, even though the topic itself doesn't really lend itself to humor. And I just want to be useful to you. I don't want it to be like Caitlyn Jenner trying to give advice to young girls about their first period. I'm certainly not an expert. I certainly will not be able to give some type of exhaustive step-by-step list because I don't think one exists, but I will pin my own comment, even though normally I pin a hater's comment at the top so that everybody can sort of like pile on and embarrass them until they take their ball and go home. But I'm going to put my comment at the top so that in that section will be where we really focus on this topic. And if you have follow-up questions, put them there. If you're an officer that follows my channel and you've got extra input, that's where you can reply to people or throw your 2 cents in. And hopefully the whole package deal of this video and the comments below will be useful to the people who look at it. It's very important that you understand the ways that I definitely do not want your help.
Hey man, you need some help with that?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Alright, yep. Have a good one.
I would prefer that you don't just stand there, grab your cell phone, record it, and then send it to WorldStar.
Come on, man. Stop.
Although people like Snoop Dogg seem to enjoy seeing people who are trying to enforce the law get beaten in a public setting. Yes, Snoop, I'm sure that the person who filmed that video will respond at 911 when you call when a crime is occurring on your property. In all seriousness, there's no set of circumstances that this is going to apply to all the time, but here are the 3 things that I broke down for right now. First, if an officer asks for your help, maybe you're walking past a situation, you find yourself passing a situation, and the officer is trying to get someone's attention and say, I need help. Whether that means they need you to make a phone call to let them know that there's an officer in trouble, whether that means that he's asking for you to physically step in and help him control someone. There's no set of circumstances in which he's going to say, I need your help. There's not like only 3 ways that we're trained to ask for help. That doesn't exist. So if you find yourself being the person where an officer's saying, will you help me? Well, then I guess you have a decision to make. But that is a good time that if you're wondering, should I step in? If an officer is looking at you and saying, will you help me? Or if you're in a crowd of people and he's saying, someone help, then yes, that's the right time. Number 2 is if the officer isn't asking for help, but you are looking at the situation and it sure seems like he needs it, it's okay for you to say, do you need help? When doing that, the big key part of that is don't approach from behind. Don't come up from the officer in an angle or in a manner in which he doesn't know that you're approaching, and then all of a sudden just insert yourself into the situation without any notice, because that's going to create more confusion than help. But going ahead and you asking the officer, do you need my help? Can I help? The officer will acknowledge you if he's able, and then you'll be able to hopefully naturally understand what it is that he needs you to do. Maybe this guy's arm is flailing and he just needs someone to help hold it down while he gets the handcuff on. A caveat to this is obviously if you are armed, legally, I hope, that you let the officer know if it's possible. And this has to be done in a common sense way, of course. I don't want you to stand there tapping the officer on the shoulder while he's fighting with someone just to make sure that before you help, he knows you have a gun. It's not what I'm asking. I'm saying that if it's possible to let the officer know in the process of helping that you are an armed citizen go ahead, let them know so that they're aware that there's another weapon in the situation. I should also point out that it's not only just when officers happen to be fighting with a resisting subject that they might need help. There's been other circumstances of just normal day-to-day functions of police officers where they're a one-man unit and they're struggling to get a task done, whether it's moving a car out of the road or helping someone accomplish a task in a yard where maybe a fence fell over and they're trying to help somebody pick it up. It's okay to go offer to help. Those situations aren't like high-stress things, and it is appreciated when the people that were out there serving and protecting in the community want to help us accomplish that. And that's fine. Don't ever feel shy about just saying, hey, do you need any help? And if they don't, then they'll say, no, I'm good, thank you. Or maybe they'll say like, I hope not. I hope not. Lastly, we're talking about extreme situations in which you would encounter an officer in truly desperate need, whether they are under attack, whether they have been injured, whether they have been downed. Then this is a situation in which there is no script for. You're going to have to read the situation and decide, what is it that I can do right now? Is it rendering aid? Is it being a good witness? And if you see a suspect fleeing the scene, making sure that you get the best possible description of them, their vehicle, their clothing, the circumstances, their direction of travel? Or is it hopping into the police car and engaging the radio and letting someone know what's going on? Those are these extreme circumstances in which there have been citizens who have helped save officers' lives in the process. So I don't want to downplay that, but that is extreme. It is very rare in the big scheme of things that you would ever find yourself in that situation. And there's no way for me to tell you exactly what to do in that situation because there's just no script for that. And because it's such an extreme situation, it really doesn't matter what you do as long as you do something and you're trying your best to apply common sense. Go with your gut and do what you can do. At the end of the day, we're all on the same team trying to accomplish the same thing in our communities. And so if your heart and mind are like in the right place and you want to step in to try to help, then by all means, please do so in those extreme circumstances. I don't know if those things were what you expected. I don't know if those things were helpful, but as I sat down and just try to break it down in my head, that's what I came up with. And again, I'm not the expert on this, so definitely follow along in the comments, and maybe you've got a very specific scenario or question that you had that I didn't even come close to addressing. Well, let's talk about it in the comments, and other officers can chime in and give you their take on it too. But I do want to say thank you to everybody who supports law enforcement. Thank you to those who are willing to step in when we can't get the job done on our own. We appreciate that, and I think everybody who steps in and helps the police should get like a vigilante name, and they should get their own comic book deal signed because that's really cool. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button for my channel. If you want to find me off of YouTube, you can always add me on Snapchat, follow me on Instagram or Twitter, like my Facebook page, and if you really like me, you can also check out my store or my Patreon page.